like to welcome everyone. We have half a dozen announcements today, and we'll begin with Peggy Ehora from Dominion Gas and her colleagues, Mark, to talk about the ongoing renovation of the gas distribution system. Peggy?
Well, thank you very much. Spring is sprung, and so with spring season comes digging season. It becomes our installation system for gas pipeline. Anyone who has been down Kibbe Street in the last few months or so, especially right around Calumet, out by the railroad tracks, has seen a lot of activity there. We are done with our portion of that. We've been working out there for several months, but gas company's done. I think everybody else is kind of finishing up on that project. We are announcing today the projects that we are going to have in the next few months. And so we kind of want to give everybody a heads up. Some are starting sooner than later, but we thought we ought to give people some advance notice of where we're coming this summer. Project 1870, which is Homeward Avenue in American Township, will be starting here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That one is just the block between Elida Road and Patton, right around Pat's Donuts and Cream. That block of Homeward will be replacing 2,675 feet of medium pressure bare steel pipe there, and that will be impacting about 49 services, 49 households. We will begin work in September at Lennox and Zeitz in the city of Lima Perry Township. I'm just going to throw some out here too. The Homeward Avenue is about $340,000. Zeitz and Lennox is a little over $1 million. That is going to be replacing 5,200 feet of pipe, and it will affect 71 services. We are doing Lakewood and Cole. You familiar with that area? Yeah, okay. Lakewood and Cole area is a $1.6 million project. That is 12,409 feet of pipe, and that's going to affect approximately 252 homes, services, so that's a fairly sizable project. That will begin the week of July 13th. So we are getting through the 4th of July. Very, very busy area, sensitive to Star Spangled Spectacular and a lot of stuff that goes on there. So we will be getting that project afterwards, the week of July 13th. Project 1215, which is South Dixie Highway in Deshuqua Township, about $750,000. That's 4,520 feet of pipe and 18 services. Project 1213 is Eureka and Prospect. We haven't even bid that project yet, so we don't have a start date with that, but it's 14,385 feet of pipe and 329 services. So again, very intensive in terms of the number of households and services that are affected by that project. Project 1086, which is Sara Lee and New Haven and Cridersville, Shawnee Township, is just a little under $1 million, 10,095 feet of pipe, 152 services. And last but not least is PIR 503, which is South Main and Circular. That project is a little over $2 million, 12,231 square feet of pipe, 175 services. So you can see that that will begin in June. Most of them are mid to late summer starts, the majority of the Lima projects. We like to take these opportunities with the mayor's press conference just to kind of reiterate all of the things that we think people know, but that doesn't necessarily always happen. As far as we know that it's an inconvenience, we ask people, to be cooperative. We thank them for their patience, because sometimes we're blocking driveways. We have access issues. Gas pipeline projects aren't always, the most convenient for customers, but we do the best that we can. The last part of it is we always talk about the badge. It doesn't matter if they are a Dominion employee or a contractor working for us, they have a badge that identifies them as a Dominion contractor or employee. The other thing is we always have a Dominion inspector out on our job, so there's always a white Dominion vehicle somewhere close to that project. So if anybody living in those neighborhoods is suspicious of anything, if they have any questions, if they're not quite sure what's going on, track the truck down, ask somebody to see the ID before you have access to the house, because particularly in the city of Lima, we've been on a low pressure system. So everybody, a lot of the city, their meters are in the basement or they're inside the house. As we've been doing these projects, we are moving meters from inside the house to outside so that we have easier access to them going forward, a lot less inconvenience to the customer going forward. But even if we don't have a meter in and when we're still out, we always have to access the house when we're getting ready to relight. We put new service lines in and we go in and we test lines and we relight an appliance. So somebody at some point on any of these projects is going to ask for access to the house. And so that gives people a little bit of angst. Ask for the badge. If they don't have a badge, don't let them in. Make a phone call, do whatever you need to do. But it's been pretty seamless. We haven't had any problems, but there's always somebody out there that we think looks at this as an opportunity to possibly access a home. So please be careful. Restoration issues are last but never least. I'm sorry. I'm taking your notes. Is that we know that restoration issues are probably the most important for our customers. You know, we're in tree lawns, we're in their yard. You know, we'll go through cycles here in the summertime with a lot of rain or no rain, and we will get back to do the restoration. And as always, if there's any issues with that going forward too, please let us know, and we'll come back and try to rectify that. So Mark, this is Mark Schaefer. Mark's the project manager for all of these projects. So if you have any specific questions, Mark certainly is the person to ask. But we thank everybody for their cooperation. Yep.
Thank you, Peggy.
Yep.
I will advise my wife
You
that
let her know.
she should be prepared. That's right. Jodi Wireman's here from Apollo with information about their GED and other programs.
Good morning. Hi, Jodi Wireman, Assistant Coordinator of Apollo Career Center's ABLE GED ESOL program. Just to give you a little background, ESOL is English Speakers for Other Languages. We do have a class that is held at Apollo and our Forest Park location. And then our main program is the ABLE, which is Adult Basic Literacy Education and GED programs. We are in 5 counties, and we do have orientations in all 5 counties next week. So if that's something that you're interested in, or if you know of someone that would be interested in that, it's on the website, or you can contact us, Joyce Tracy and myself. One thing that I just wanted to share that, two things. We are starting a transitions program on Wednesday nights, which is helping students that are in our ABLE program, but not necessarily have to be from our ABLE program. We have a lot of people that are trying to get jobs, going into post-secondary, and maybe they're the first one in their family, and they have no idea, what the steps are to get, to do that. So we help with resume, we do career exploration, we do basic computer skills, email, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, things that they may see in college. And we've done 3 different post-secondary college visits. We've been to Rhodes, Apollo, Adult Education, and then Vantage Career Center. So it's just kind of helping our students that maybe seems a little scary to go to college and they haven't, again, maybe they're the first ones in their family that's the case for them. And so we're just trying to help bridge that gap. The last thing is, in 2014, the GED test did change, and the state issued a voucher to any students that were a first-time test taker that's worth $80. When the test changed, the cost drastically increased, and a lot of our students, that was a huge factor. The cost was $120 now versus it used to be $40. So the state issued an $80 voucher that each test they could get $20 off each section. So it ended up being just $10 a section versus $30 a section. Those are expiring this June. So anyone that is interested in taking the GED test, I would recommend, either stop in our classes or go on GED.com. I can issue those vouchers, but they have to have a GED dashboard account first. So again, those are expiring June the 30th, and we just want to get the word out that that's happening. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. And Pete White is here with information on the start of citywide Pride, which cleanup in our neighborhoods is starting this weekend.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. It's time once again for the annual citywide Pride cleanups. There are going to be 4 weekends in May, excluding the Memorial Holiday weekend. where there will be dumpster locations. The first weekend is this Saturday, May 2nd. There are 2 locations. The LACNIP Resource Center at 1440 West Spring Street, sponsored by the Boulevard Neighborhood Association, and St. Gerard's School, 1311 North Main Street, sponsored by the Northside Neighborhood Association. The other weekends are May 9th, May 16th, and May 30th. There's a flyer on the community development page under neighborhood support on the city's website where you can get further information on those locations. Some of the items that we will not accept at the dumpster sites are appliances and large furniture. Those can be left at the curb on your regular trash pickup days. Also, chemical waste and car batteries. We would like you to contact the North Central Ohio Solid Waste District. There's a lot of information on cost and ways to dispose of your hazardous waste. There is information on our citywide Pride flyer on that website. If you have tree limbs, brush, or shrubs, you can take them to 900 South College Street, which is the City Central Services Building located south of the College Street tennis courts. These sites all operate from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturdays, and you'll need your driver's license for proof of residency in the city. We will also take tires on the east side of the Central Services Building at 900 College Street, and we have a limit of 10 tires per customer. Thank you.
Well, of course, this follows on a very successful Ottawa River cleanup that just took place. Nearly 300 adults and young people helped pitch in this past weekend, and we hope to have a similar kind of outreach in the community with the weekend cleanups as well. So thank you. Josh Unterbrink is here from Activate Allen County concerning the upcoming bicycle and pedestrian count.
Thank you. Always asked, what can I do to help out Activate Allen County? And we have a need right now for folks to volunteer on next Tuesday's May 5th bike counts and bike and pedestrian counts. We're trying to get a snapshot of the activity throughout the county, not just here in Lima, but Bluffton, Delphus, and throughout the community to see how many people are actually out using our infrastructure. The data then is compiled by the Regional Planning Commission, and the data is used to look at different improvement projects moving forward and different safety measures that might be taken. So it's of the utmost importance that we conduct these counts, and we just could use some more bodies next Tuesday to hopefully enjoy a nice 2-hour block outside conducting counts. If you are interested in conducting counts, you can contact our office at 419-221-5035. You can email me at junterbrink@activateallencounty.com, or you can go to our website at activateallencounty.com. Under our active transportation tab, there is a link to actually sign up for the counts right on our website. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can contact us as well at our office. But we're just hoping people can come out next Tuesday.
How many volunteers are you looking for?
We could actually use, if each volunteer took one location, there's about 42 locations of 4 2-hour blocks at each of those locations. So we're looking at about 160 volunteers. We have a number of those locations that are currently filled. We have a bunch of different volunteers that have already allocated their time to those counts, but we can always use more to lessen the burden on those of us that have already signed up and will conduct those counts.
Okay. And if there is a procedure for rain dates as well?
Yes. If Tuesday, May 5th is a rain-out date, we look at the Thursday, May 7th as our rain-out date. If that does also fall under inclement weather, we will look at doing some counts the following week, but we try to get them all done on those 2 dates. Yeah. Thank you.
I have done this for several years. It's very interesting. I've camped out up on North Cole Street for that piece of the bike path that goes from Brower to Rob. And interesting to see who uses that at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I've done it from 7 to 9, and each year that I've done that, there are people in wheelchairs that are walking dogs. There are kids who are walking to bus stops. There are runners, and there are cyclists. So it's, somebody says, will they use it? Or they make the assertion that sidewalks won't be used or bike paths won't be used. In fact, they are used, and I think that part of the rationale for the bike count is to both document who the users are, the number of users, and ultimately to create a better sense of the ongoing increase in active transportation. So we can all, I think, feel better about both addressing the needs that remain, but also encouraging others to get out and use this infrastructure. It's in our interest as a community to keep building, dealing with safe routes to schools, creating opportunities for folks to use bicycles in ways that aren't just for recreation, but in fact are becoming a part of the normal transportation that we rely on in our community. So I want to encourage people to participate. Also, Major Coon is here to make an introduction and to give folks notice that something's going to begin happening again. Major?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, members of the media and community. As most of everybody in the downtown knows, we've been working for the last couple months at trying to replace our parking enforcement person. And I'm here today to introduce our new parking enforcement officer, Jennifer Thomas. She went through the process and has finally managed to make it through and be hired, and she actually started writing tickets yesterday. So in talking to her this morning, there are people who already know her name. So she has been introduced to the community at large, and now we're introducing her to the whole community. It's my honor to introduce her to you at this time.
I'd like to thank everybody for this opportunity, and you guys have a good day.
All right. Very good. Thank you both. We've had downtown merchants, folks from downtown Lima, who have been very anxious about getting enforcement restarted. And so that raises the question, because I will get the phone calls. Why do we do enforcement? And it's very simple. The on-street parking is the most valuable piece of real estate that merchants have that they don't own. It's owned by the public. And when we don't do enforcement, those folks, that real estate gets used often by employees in the downtown, certainly by those who don't want to move their car to provide the kind of turnover that's necessary for merchants. So enforcement takes place in the downtown because there is a limited amount of space, because the merchants need to have turnover for their customers. They want that space that is most convenient right in front of their store available to people to be used as efficiently as possible. Without parking enforcement, that doesn't happen. So it's not that we like to write tickets. This really isn't about a revenue source. It's about making certain that the merchants in the downtown have the opportunity of that space so that they can, in fact, have a thriving business. So, Jennifer, welcome. I'm glad that you're introducing yourself to folks. And there is, I think, plans for a second potential parking enforcement person, and that person will be introduced as well when that happens. So I think That's all that we have for today, so we'll break down for interviews. Thank you.